presentation outlines the requirements for the HSC 2022. Should students or parents have any questions, they're asked to contact Mrs. Richter, the Year 10 Deputy Principal. English is the only subject that is compulsory in the HSC. This means that all students must choose an English course to study in both Years 11 and 12. Students should seek advice from the English faculty regarding their suitability for a particular course. Generally, students will study the same level of English in Year 12 as they studied in Year 11. Students who have successfully completed English Extension 1 in Year 11 and who are continuing with its study in Year 12 may elect to study English Extension 2 as well in Year 12. It is not compulsory to study mathematics in Stage 6. However, most students at Parkes High School do choose to study a maths subject, as foundational skills in mathematics are required for most career paths. The study of maths is not compulsory for the HSC or to obtain an ATAR. The Mathematics Standard course is a common course in the preliminary year. Students, in consultation with the mathematics faculty, nominate to do either Mathematics Standard 1 or Mathematics Standard 2 in the HSC year. Students who successfully complete Mathematics Extension 1 in Year 11 and continue its study into Year 12 can elect to undertake the Extension 2 mathematics course in Year 12. Students are required to study a minimum of 12 units in Year 11 and a minimum of 10 units in Year 12 to be eligible for the HSC. Students are required to satisfactorily complete the Year 11 course in a particular subject before they're able to commence the study of the corresponding HSC course. To be eligible for the HSC, students must study English, meaning that English is mandatory for both Year 11 and Year 12. Students must study at least 6 units of board-developed courses to be eligible for an HSC. English Studies and Mathematics Standard 1 are board-developed courses with an optional HSC exam. Students who choose these subjects but wish to receive an ATAR must undertake the optional examination. Students must study at least 3 courses of 2 units value or greater. All subjects offered for 2021, with the exception of extension courses, are 2 units in value. Students must study at least 4 subjects. It is important to remember that extension courses are not separate subjects. For example, Advanced English, 2 units, plus Extension 1, 1 unit, plus Extension 2, 1 unit equals 4 units, but only 1 subject. Biology, physics, chemistry, earth and environmental science, and investigating science are all a science subject. Students must be mindful of this when choosing their courses. At most, 6 units in science can be included in the pattern of study for Year 11. However, in Year 12, this increases to 7 units to allow for the study of extension science. Students need to demonstrate they have met a minimum standard in literacy and numeracy to receive a HSC credential. Students will show they meet this standard by passing online tests of basic literacy and numeracy skills, which are available for them to sit when they are ready in Year 10, 11 or 12. Our Year 10 students have already had the opportunity to sit some of these tests, and many of our students have already met the minimum standards in reading and or numeracy and or writing. Students will be provided with multiple opportunities to demonstrate their achievement of this standard over the next 2.5 years. Students can take up to 5 years after starting the HSC to pass the minimum standards test and receive their HSC credential. Students do not need to meet the minimum standard to study HSC courses, sit HSC exams, receive HSC assessment and exam results, receive an ATAR, or receive a record of school achievement. This video from the NESA website explains the minimum standard requirements in more detail.
The HSC minimum standard of literacy and numeracy explained. Students need reading, writing and numeracy for everyday life after school. This is why students in New South Wales are required to meet a minimum standard of literacy and numeracy to receive the HSC. Together with the New South Wales Literacy and Numeracy Strategy, the HSC minimum standard is part of an effort to improve literacy and numeracy outcomes for students. What does it mean to meet the HSC minimum standard? Meeting the HSC minimum standard means having the skills to do things like write a letter for a job application or understand a mobile phone plan. How will students demonstrate they have met the standard? Students can sit each minimum standard reading, writing or numeracy test up to 4 times a year until they meet the standard. At least 30 calendar days is required before re-attempting a test in the same domain. The minimum standard online tests are 45 minutes long and include a multiple choice reading test, a multiple choice numeracy test, and a short writing test based on a choice between a visual or written prompt. When should we expect students to meet the HSC minimum standard? Students will demonstrate they have met the minimum standard online tests in either Year 10, Year 11 or Year 12. What can students do who haven't reached the HSC minimum standard by Year 12 do? Students can sit the tests from Year 10 until up to 5 years after starting their first HSC course. Students don't need to have met the standard to study HSC courses, sit the HSC exams, receive their HSC results, get an ATAR, or receive the ROSA. The Record of School Achievement, or ROSA, is an alternative credential that contains a student's record of academic achievement up until the date they leave school. The ROSA does not require the HSC minimum standard. You can show the ROSA to potential employers or places of further learning. What if a student requires disability provisions? Provisions for the minimum standard tests are available for some students with disability. Students are encouraged to speak to their teachers to determine whether they are eligible for provisions. Some students with disability studying life skills courses may be exempt from meeting the minimum standard to receive their HSC, though they will still have the option to sit for the online tests if they want to. The NASA website contains more information and resources on the minimum standard literacy and numeracy tests, disability provisions and exemptions, as well as sample test questions and example answers. For more information, please go to educationstandards.nsw.edu.au.
Board-developed courses there are 2 types of HSC courses: board-developed courses and board-endorsed courses. Board-developed courses are developed by NASA, and all students in the state study the same course content and complete the same HSC exam. These courses may contribute to the calculation of a student's ATAR. Life skills courses do not have an examination and are not included in the calculation of an ATAR. Board-endorsed courses have syllabuses endorsed by NASA to cater for a wide candidature in specific areas of need not served by board-developed courses. Students do not sit an HSC exam in board-endorsed courses. Board-developed courses are divided into 2 categories, Category A and Category B. It is the responsibility of the University's Admission Centre, UAC, to determine if a course can be included in the calculation of an ATAR. Category A courses are deemed to have academic rigour and depth of knowledge to provide background for tertiary studies. All Category A courses can be included in the calculation of an ATAR. Category B courses, no more than 2 units of Category B courses can be included in the ATAR calculation. English Studies, Mathematics Standard 1, Vet Construction, Vet Hospitality and Vet Business are all Category B courses. This means that only one of these subjects can be included in the calculation of a student's ATAR. It is important to remember that English must be included in the calculation of the ATAR. So, if a student studies English Studies and wants an ATAR, they must be very careful in the construction of the rest of their pattern of study to ensure they remain eligible for an ATAR. It must also be noted that in order for any of these courses to be used in the calculation of a student's ATAR, they must sit the optional HSC exam. Board-endorsed courses cannot be included in the calculation of an ATAR. The board-endorsed courses on offer at Parkes High School for 2021 are Sport, Lifestyle and Recreation, Exploring Early Childhood, Work Studies and Numeracy. Some subjects cannot be studied in combination. Students can only study one of Music 1 or Music 2 and one of Industrial Technology, Metal and Engineering Technologies or Industrial Technology, Timber Products and Furniture Technologies. This is important to remember when students are choosing subjects.